I'm now on my way to meet with Smarty, who's also pretty well known in the SEO industry. I've known her for a long time. Looking forward to chatting with these folks and learning from them about what they have to share about SEO in general. So it should be fun, and looking forward to talking to them. We all know how important site speed is, not just when it comes to improving your user experience and conversion rates on your website, but a little search engine named Google uses page speed as a ranking factor. That is where Ezoic comes in, with their standalone site speed accelerator. This tool is guaranteed to improve your site speed, not just for your visitors, but also will give you an 80+ score on your Google Page Speed Insights. Ezoic guarantees it. Ezoic also offers a whole suite of publisher tools, not just for site speed, but also for ad technology, compliance features, analytics, and so much more. So check them out at www.ezoic.com. And thanks for having me in your office. I appreciate it. Jim's office is right there, so I just interviewed Jim right after this. Sorry, right next door. Can you tell the people watching who you are?
Sure. I'm Smarty. I come from Ukraine, and I started my internet marketing career like maybe 15 years ago. I stopped counting at probably 7. I started as a customer support team back when I was still in college, and then I was promoted to an SEO, and that's when I started my personal blog, documenting what I was learning and what I was doing. And at some point I became known as a very prolific guest blogger, and that's where my career kind of took off. And I started a few projects and then moved to the United States and started speaking at conferences. So
cool. You have a long history in SEO. You started probably back in like 2006. You started your own company called SEO Smarty. And can you tell us why you started that company, how that come about?
That's a funny story. I was working at an e-commerce site back in Ukraine, and they decided to explore SEO, which was not that well known at that point. And they said, "Hey, come over. We want you to be like Jim Boykin or Ren Fishkin. So start your own blog and start documenting whatever you're learning about SEO." That's what I did, and 6 or 12 months forward, I resigned from that company and started my own. So that's how it happened.
Cool. And you also started this thing called MyBlogGuest.
Yes.
And can you tell us what was that about?
Sure. 2008 was the date when I actually bought the domain. And it was a very nice idea I had in mind that it's not easy to find blogs to write for, and it's not easy to find good writers. So there should be a place to connect the two and let them become part of the community and network with each other and come back whenever they have like a gap in the editorial calendar and find some writers. So that's what I did, and we had quite a quiet start. It was maybe 2 years when I was just thinking of it as a community, like a home for bloggers and writers. And then Matt Katz, I'm sure everyone knows him, he used to work for Google, and at maybe a video or blog post, I don't remember exactly, but someone asked him what he thought about guest posting as a link building method, and he was like, "I don't see anything wrong with it. I think it's a good tactic so go for it." And we had like a flood of link builders to our platform, and we were struggling to keep the quality high, and I was trying to blog and say, hey, it's not a link building method per se, it's a community building method, but no one cared.
Right.
So in 2014, Matt Katz had to step in again and said, hey, this tactic is probably too much spammed, so stop doing it, it's not good. And a few months later, there was a manual penalty on MyBlogGuest, which was highly publicized around the web. And that's how guest posting became like a grayish area.
Grayish. I mean, SEOs really have to ruin everything, don't they?
I know. But it's like I get it. We are looking for shortcuts and scaling, and it's obviously a good thing for business when you can scale, but it's not so good for some of the tactics that was started as a good thing, and then was ruined by that.
Okay, so since you had that experience with, I guess, forcing Matt Katz's hand, if you call it, I don't know if you know, my personality is a bit somewhat sarcastic, and so hopefully it's okay.
I don't have any bad feelings.
So obviously then Jim Boykin hired you, right, after that, because Jim and Matt Cutts go back also. I think they have some history.
I think, no, Jim actually hired me before.
Before the
penalty, yeah. I moved to the United States 2012.
Oh, I thought Jim only hires people who have been penalized.
No. But it's a good coincidence because no one could see that coming. When he was hiring me, I was pretty well known, white hat, community building, build great content, don't do link building, we were doing all sorts of measures to prevent our members from paying for links because I knew that it was like a forbidden tactic and no one could do that. But I moved here in 2012, 2 years before the penalty.
And how was that? How was moving from one country to another? Was that hard? Or?
It's not even one country, it's across the globe. It's like right in the opposite place of the earth, so it's pretty dramatic.
So where was it from again?
Ukraine.
Okay, I get invited to speak there all the time.
On that, on the opposite.
A lot of news about the Ukraine, right now.
Yes.
Okay. What's your political views on? I'm just joking. We'll stick with SEO.
The funny thing is, 2014 was also when the political thing started. So I had two things that year. Both of them were pretty dramatic, but it's good memories still. So, when I look back at how I moved my family, we moved together with my husband and my little daughter. She was 4 at that point. I have like a very good memories, even though I wanted to go home, I miss my relatives, but nonetheless, everything was so new, even like the smells and the everything. So it was an experience that I don't think we could ever repeat in our lives, because even if we were to move to another country, it would be just another move. It wouldn't be just for the first time in our lives. So it was really impressive.
So looking back at it, you're happy with the move and everything?
I'm happy. I got settled. It took me probably 2 years to stop really missing my country and my relatives, but looking back, 2012 I moved, 2014 my country broke apart. So I didn't really have a good home to go back to.
So killed guest blogging and your country exactly the same. Okay, got it.
Exactly the same year.
Wow, it's pretty good. So since you killed the concept of guest blog posting because of link building, that's your fault. So you obviously know a lot about the history of link building. What do you think the future of link building holds?
Yeah, it's funny because one funny thing to mention, quite a few blogs had an impact from our penalty, because Google not just penalized MyBlogGuest but many of our users. What happened is now referred to as Smarty update.
So you got your own update.
Yes, I got my own update. So with that, the history of link building, looking back, and it's another funny story that I never paid for links in my life. I started as purely white hat building. At that time, that was white hat. It's not so much these days. I still do guest posting, but as previously, I'm doing it for my own brand and to bring our iMan brand to outside of our own site, and it works well, and that's what I suggested doing in the first place, but who cared. And for the future, I heard a very nice quote from Rand Fishkin. He said, link building outreach is exchange of value. So you really, really need to provide a value to get links. And that's something we are doing at this point, and that's something that's going to work in the future. And that value can come in various forms, like original research, survey results, market research based on your customer base, and all of those things that no one else did, which is newsworthy, is going to work going forward. And I guess that's what we were supposed to be doing years ago.
It's interesting. So you guys, Internet Marketing Ninjas, take on clients that don't naturally just get links, meaning SEOs that work for like massive companies like, I don't know, CNN and New York Times, and for all these big companies that just get links naturally, those SEOs are at this level, whereas you guys are at this level. So because you got to do something to get these links. It's a wholly different thing. A lot of SEOs I know, like, oh, we don't have to build links, so it's great. I know a lot of SEOs that used to do a lot of link building that got their corporate jobs and they're like, this is wonderful. We make a page and it just ranks. It's amazing. So what do you think about that? Do you think it's just a lot of this? I hear a lot of people talking about branding, how branding is important. Do you think that's like part of what you do here in terms of trying to get the brand to be more recognized, or you do that through the content development, which also then you have to go ahead and say, we are a real brand, our customers are a real brand, we have this value add, thus you should link to us. But they have to be told and be made aware of these pages, these value adds, right?
Yes, sure. It's not like we create and links just come in.
Right.
It doesn't work like that, and I know that that's something we are suggesting to be doing. Like, hey, build great content and links will be coming. It doesn't really work in many cases. What we do, first of all, we come up with something with content that is supposed to be bringing links. Usually, it's like something newsworthy or local, like how much money Instagram influencers are doing per minute. This type of content, and like doing our research, creating a nice visualization of our findings, and then yes, of course, outreach to journalists and bloggers, and doing some social media advertising to bring it in front of people who could be linking to it. All those kind of things. We still have to bring it to people, but there is no way we can influence the way they're linking to us. I guess that's what we have to be dealing with, but that's a necessity.
So you guys are doing all the heavy lifting while these corporate SEOs are just lightweights. They got it.
I know. No, we have huge brands too,
Yeah.
and it's like it's a little bit easier, but not in many cases. Like, for example, many journalists would not be willing to link to a big brand because they recognize it's a link building method. Like they see it's not something they would produce on a natural basis. That's something for links, and they would frown upon that. And if that's not a smaller brand, they would just, hey, why don't I link to that? So it's different from client to client, but it's still doable.
I just wrote this morning that Danny Sullivan, who's now at Google, basically said it's sad that like a lot of journalists, especially like bigger publications, do not link to smaller publications. Links are the fundamentals of the web, and he wants journalists to hold these larger institutions to the thing. You should actually link to your sources. And I told him, yeah, it's great, journalists could do that, but the easy way to go about this is to have Google set a law, call it the Smarty update number 2, and go ahead and attack these journals who are not linking out. Wall Street Journal rarely ever links out. These major publications rarely link out, and it would be cool, I guess, if Google kind of encouraged, just use that word, encouraged or influenced these larger publishers or even smaller publishers who do not link out to link out more, because that's the fundamentals of the web. And I do think SEOs kind of damaged that. I think they used a little bit. In any event, I appreciate you taking the time with me. How can people learn more about you? Where can they follow you?
Well, I'm an SEO Smarty at Twitter. It's the easiest way to connect. I'm usually there on a daily basis unless I'm traveling. But I try to reply to everyone and follow back if there is like a need to DM or anything. So just keep in touch.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for coming around.
Ann Smarty is a legend in her own right. She has created certain things in the SEO industry that is pretty amazing for a single person to actually do by themselves. Lots of experience working both internationally and in the US. She's just great. So thank you, Ann, for giving me the time to talk to you, and looking forward to seeing you again in the future soon.